Welcome to the bold analysis. A week since Raila Odinga met with Uhuru Kenyatta, with William Ruto in Uganda, so many political developments have emerged, including the fact that Azimio la Umoja, there is a caucus that is coalescing around Kalonzo Musyoka. And that meeting was actually analyzed as a split card on Azimio la Umoja. I have seen Raila Odinga back to the rallies and explaining to the voters about what they are meeting with William Ruto really means. That is very important because I remember one of the problems that Uhuru Kenyatta faced is the fact that after having the handshake with Raila Odinga in 2018 rather, March, and because he had good intentions and clarity on what he really wanted, the real concept of that handshake, he didn't bother to go back to Mount Kenya to explain what exactly does that mean. Remember, we'd come from politics where they had used all sorts of words against each other, and the upcoming politicians from Mount Kenya used that gap to create seeds of discord. If Uhuru Kenyatta would have gone to Mount Kenya immediately after that handshake, maybe the handshake would not have received a harsh reception when Raila Odinga actually tried to go to the mountain. So on the Azimio side, there were all those manner of casualties and all those stories emerged. But in the contrary, I want us to look at Kenya Kwanza. We know very well that we have seen leaders. The trend is that leaders in this country normally don't have a stand. They don't have, the young MPs, they don't have a stand. What the big man has said is what they follow. So since Uhuru Kenyatta, William Ruto met Raila Odinga, and we were told about how they are supporting the bid by Raila to go to AU, all the leaders across the political divide coalesced around that idea. But there are a clique of leaders that are reading infiltration, and there will be casualties in case there's going to be infiltration. Because what the Kenya Kwanza clique of leaders in Kenya Kwanza feel is that if in any case, because remember there is no full disclosure of what is going on, if in any case Raila Odinga is having a political deal with William Ruto, perhaps that deal would not be limited to Raila Odinga maybe vying in 2017 or so. That such a deal would actually cause some panic, because quite a number might be irrelevant. Remember, they have not been called. Nothing has been explained. And we saw Mount Kenya leaders over the weekend saying that, be careful with Raila Odinga. And there is some panic that Raila Odinga is around these corners. You know, that Raila Odinga is around these corridors. Being that Aisha Juma even went and met Raila a day after Raila met William Ruto, even though she explained herself that she's seeking the political party support, the ODM party support on that two-third gender achievement. Much of that panic is that Ruto might find a political comfort and even fail to intensify the UDA grape. Now, let's look at how this has played out. And let's start with this one. Waruguru, in this photo, he accompanied the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua today in Laikipia. I know Laikipia is her county, comes from Laikipia East. She was a former MP there. But the event was in Laikipia West. She accompanied Rigathi Gachagua to that tour. And she's amongst the leaders coalescing now around Rigathi Gachagua. Remember, Waruguru was nominated to be a CAS in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So as to whether there were rumors, there were some other reports, unconfirmed reports, that these CSS were already getting some salaries, picking their salaries in cash from State House. I think that came from a lie, and I don't believe it was true maybe. Even if they are getting remuneration, but I didn't believe it is from State House. And now, she seems to be now going Rigathi access. Remember, Rigathi was in Mount Kenya alone. Waruguru has not been in action, maybe in attendance of William Ruto's events. The other person is Millicent Omanga. Millicent Omanga is amongst the politicians that has been warming up for Raila Odinga. Of course, you could see a bit of much support on that African Union, but is also plotting a political comeback seeking a parliamentary seat in Nairobi. And I think one of the newspapers reported that is having some appetite for one of the parliamentary seats here. Might not go for women rep, but might seek a Western-friendly constituency in the city, probably where if I throw my guess, and I believe, because I believe before when Millicent Omanga, before 2022 general election, immediately Arati, a decision was made that Arati was going to vie in Kisii. Raila called, Arati wanted Millicent Omanga to dump the UDA, join ODM, so that he goes and seeks that parliamentary seat. And I remember it was highly reported about a meeting between Arati, Millicent Omanga, and I think even Raila Odinga, so that he goes and seeks the Great North. And she had a good chance of, crossing on the other side, but of course, she decided to dance to the UDA song. Dennis Itumbi has retreated to Kirinyaga, and in a recent past even announced that he was going to seek a governor seat, the gubernatorial seat there, to unseat to take over from Anne Waiguru. And I remember the very day, a day after Ruto met Raila, Star did a newspaper headline about some state appointments on Raila's axis because of that deal. And the first person to go to rebuttal that statement was actually Dennis Itumbi. Went there and said there is no such political truce, and the agreement between Raila Odinga and William Ruto is not on that. Evans Kidero is another one found in the middle of crossroad, because, and what he has resorted, he was also a CS. This ministry, Moses Kuria, where Moses Kuria was to be, that industrialization and trade, now is Rebecca Mieno. He's resorted to UDA party headquarters, praying that he would be William Ruto's point person in Homa Bay, or rather the larger South Nyanza, when William Ruto would be seeking votes there. Of late, Ruto has been making appointments on state parastatals, but there is much less of those politicians being injected. And so, where that infiltration panic is coming now is what I want to explain here shortly. But before I explain, get deep into that, I want to humbly request you to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our videos. And by the way, you can also tell me, do you think that Raila there will be, would you think, why do you think there is a fear of infiltration? Why do you think? Because what is the worst that will happen? Will someone feel that Kenya Kwanza is infiltrated, or what? Because these public offices that leaders are holding, they hold them on trust of mwananchi. Those are not their offices. It's not your office. You leave it, the next day someone else will be there. So you hold those offices in trust. Why is this secret? Why don't you think infiltration, someone is going to infiltrate and is going to blow your cover? Because that seems to be the problem. I'm seeing some few issues on table here. Number one, I think the people on government side, the ones who got power, the first baton they pressed is how to get rich. And how to get rich has no limits. How to get rich has no limits. I think I was just reading the newspaper here that parliamentarians make claims of even non-existing. You know, the allowances, the travel, yeah, depending on your distance from Nairobi to your constituency where you are going. So people, they just leave parliament, they retreat to their hotels with their girlfriends, and even sometimes just go home and run their own affairs. Then they come back to parliamentary commission and claim allowances, forging allowances, some if they even attend a state function. That story I think was captured by The Nation, if you can check, fraudulent claims by MPs. Some attend state functions and demand to be given per diem. And then it's from the parliamentary commission. Some forged documents. So, and you know, I read it and I was like, now, these are the MPs that you're telling us are supposed to interrogate, and will also go on top of the cast and lecture the doctors on how there are some very forged claims by NHIF. While we are claiming NHIF, while we have forged, and it's true, some people forged the claims in NHIF, The Nation also reported that MPs were also forging allowances. Some MPs who even come from Mount Kenya. Unajua Central na hapa, MPs from Western Kenya have higher mileage compared to one here. So huyu wa hapa even puts a long distance. While Parliament knows very well, barabara yake ni hii, distance yake ni hii, comes and forges and it passes through. So you see that conduit of corruption. So that is, I think, that is one of the challenges that people feel our cover is going to be blown. Number two, some people would automatically be rendered irrelevant. There is been some political irrelevance. And I said it here. You know, I'm seeing Kalonzo Musyoka making his force and is preparing to take on William Ruto, which is a good strategy. As ourselves have been complaining and saying that's what Kalonzo needed to do. And also probably endorsement of Raila Odinga. But do you believe if William Ruto sees Raila is not on ballot, Raila endorses Kalonzo Musyoka, and of course Raila's support base believe they owe Kalonzo, and we owe Kalonzo. They owe Kalonzo, so they need to vote for Kalonzo Musyoka. When I say we, I say because I come from Luo, and Kalonzo supported Raila 3 times. So the Luo community, being one of them, I think I'm saying that, the Luo community owes Kalonzo. That's the truth. But do you also know that with this infiltration, there are those who will have a soft spot for Raila? And someone was telling me today, the reason why William Ruto would want Raila to go to UN is not to UN, to go to African Union. It's not what people think. He wants to have a soft spot for Raila. He wants Raila's supporters to have a soft spot for him because he knows very well. Raila got 7.1 million votes in this country. Is it 6.9 according to what Chebukati announced? So this is a man that has supporters. So you know, if ukifanya kitu mzuri kidogo kwake, I'm going to get a chunk of supporters. And William Ruto knows that Raila can come back and vibe, but he will still come back and like, I have done something. Number 3, there are those who ride on UDA to make political future. Without UDA, they have no relevance. So with this infiltration, they believe the UDA mojo that is built on Raila animosity is going to die. People sometimes they thrive on us versus them. Without an us versus them, they're irrelevant. And lastly, I think it will also limit lucrative deals, or rather what is on in terms of appointments. You know, I read a report, I think some few months to the last year's general election, and I think that report informed my position that handshake between Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga was legit, because the Nyanza got very many appointments on government by that time. Got many. I see people saying, oh, it's bored, it's this, but Uhuru Kenyatta was very genuine. Very genuine. I know I can take you to game. Yes, I can take you to game constituency. The water project that was launched around ile time, when was that? I think around Magoha's place. There was a water project that was funded by government in the tune of around 50 million in game constituency. These roads that Ruto is allegedly finishing and launching as new roads are not new. They were started with Uhuru Kenyatta, and the planning and all that had been put before. So in part of the continuation, Uhuru laid ground for the Nyanza is the J. Thank you guys. Let's meet in the next. Hi guys, so I'm so happy finally the February project is done. I know most of us have been talking about this. We did know it will come to fruition, but I'm in Mama Lucy and I've managed to get 13 out. Yes, I was planning for 7, but who knows, God has another way of doing his own things. That we managed to our to 13, and apart from that, we've also done some food stuff, because you know these guys hawa mambo wamekuwa hospitali for long na hawajakuwa wakifanya kazi. So what we decided is whatever has remained, we do some food stuff for them. And I'm just so happy that they are going home, wanted to reunite with the rest of their family. Some have been here for long, so I just want to say thank you on behalf of Bold Charity Network, my family, myself, and everyone. In whatever way you've come through this, nasema santeni sana. These women are out. Now I'll just give 2 or 3 chances. Waseme tu kitu moja. You can just say thank you. Tanzania huyu.
Tumeshukuru. Okay, my name is Winnie Oduor. Tumeshukuru kwa kuja kututoa huku. Tumekaa huku for long na the bill was too much yenye hatungeweza ku afford. But Bold Charity Network imekuja ikatutoa na tunasema ni asante.
Naitwa Teresia Wanjiru ama Mama Favor. Nataka kuambia asante kwa sababu bili ilikuwa mob, singeweza kulipa, but kwa ajili ya Mungu ati ni mimi natoka. Asante, God bless you all.
Haya, huyu. Nani mwingine anaweza ongea? Wewe, sio? Sema kitu kama tu asante.
Mimi nitakushukuru ni kusema asante kwa Mungu. Tumekuwa huku for a long time. Kama mimi nilidischargiwa on date 15, nikang'ang'ana, nikapata, nikalipa, nikaambiwa nirudi kwa ward. Sai I'm very happy. Niko out, nitaenda sasa kuungana na familia yangu. Asanteni sana.
Mimi naitwa Lydia Chelimo. Bili yangu ilitoka date 16. But singe manage kulipa, but court ameniwezesha nimetoka huku, ndatoka leo. Nimeshukuru sana na nimefurahi.
Yeah, so guys, that was it. I had to give you this confirmation that finally to manage, and may God meet you in the hour of need. I spent 2 days here listening to their stories, and their stories are testament of how we need to come for the society. For all those who participated in this Bold Charity Network, this was our CSR for the month of February. Akimbarikiwe. We will do this next time. Asanteni sana. I'm more happy than them. Asanteni. Sawa.